Justice is indivisible. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere.
If any words that I have spoken have commanded attention, that is only because they find an echo in the breasts of those of every land and of every race who love freedom and are the foes of tyranny.
You are not our queens. You are not our kings. You are not our gods. We do not belong to you. We are not your slaves. We stand as free humans that stood from the beginning of time against the strong men.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Speakers Corner Online. I am Ronnie Cinder, your host, and joining me today is my co-host, Banksy Style Live. Good evening, Banksy.
Hello. How you doing? How's it going?
Yeah, very good. Thank you very much. So Wednesday, 30th of March, we are slightly late on starting the podcast, so apologies to those who are joining us. So I think we've got a fair few things to go forward. We were trying to fit in somebody that's been chasing you, I believe, Banksy, a chap called Chrissy or Sissy Morris or something?
Chrissy Morris, yeah. He pinged me a few times saying when you want me on, and I was like, okay. And I pinged him a couple of times, but unfortunately he did not reply. So I presume he's either busy or unavailable, but I didn't get any response at all of what's whether he's interested. I mean, he is interested. It's just, I guess maybe today was this week was not a good day for him, but we'll be happy to have Chrissy on at some point. There was another individual called Jordan.
Jordan M?
No, not Jordan M. He's sort of, white supremacist, is nationalist, British nationalist. Part of the Ralph gang.
You mean Nazis?
Well, I wouldn't go as far as that, but I mean they're certainly ultra nationalist individuals. So yeah, he was actually on another show talking about. Well, he was posting in the text about the white replacement or the great replacement, theory of sort of right wingers, some of them. And I had a little engagement with him, and he said, "Why don't we have a debate?" And I said to him, "I'm on tonight. Come and have a debate." Unfortunately, as always, did not hear from him either. So I don't know if anyone's going to come. So at the end of the day, I've got nothing. I'm empty-handed.
This is a problem. There's more bum pussies than there are people willing to actually put their head on the line. But anyway, are we going to start off talking about bum pussies? Are we going to start with Will Smith, the chap with a very open relationship? I mean,
Absolutely.
Anyone that saw Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and how camp Will Smith was, it doesn't take a rocket science to put one-on-one together. Shall we start off with that? Or are you already sharing the screen?
Yeah.
I don't like Will Smith, so I'll be happy to shout out the views.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying I'm a massive fan of Will Smith. I'm just, I think it's a topical thing. It's all right. I mean, Will Smith's all right. I like Fresh Prince and some of his movies, Men in Black. But yeah, I mean, this clearly is what everybody knows what's happened.
Completely fake.
Well, we'll discuss.
I'll slap you in a minute and see how real that is. I'll play that again. Sorry, Frankie, I ruined it for you.
Sorry. Let me see if I can rewind.
In this world,
Let's go one more. Now,
in this world.
hold on. I just want everyone to get a good look, because I don't think it's fake. I don't think it's fake at all.
No, when I say fake, I don't mean. I'm not saying that it's fake. I did a minimum contact. I'm just saying they pre-planned this.
Sorry, you don't think the slap is fake?
It's terrible. I mean, that's why I'm speaking like this.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes, no, it's echo from my side. But anyway, I'm basically saying that they pre-planned this. It's not genuine.
No, I don't think so. I think this is as real as it gets with all of it. No pre-planning. This is beyond anything that woke Hollywood would have thought of, or these people would have thought of themselves. I think it is exactly as presented, and I think Will Smith. Obviously, Will Smith has to be ashamed of himself, but I also want to play another thing that it reminded me of.
Can I just say something?
Hold on, just before we go too far in, just bear with me. This is what Will Smith gave.
That's what happens, man. Oh my God. Yeah, that's what happens. Where's my money?
To me.
You give me my money?
It's like the way Will Smith slapped him was kind of a pimp asking for his money. That's why I kind of remember. It came to me halfway just now. This is the pimp hand. That's what they call the pimp hand when the pimp wants his money. Where's my money?
Where's my money, man?
Where's my money? So okay, carry on, Mr. Manny.
Right. So basically, if you think that is genuine and not something pre-planned, I'm still not convinced that it was actually a real slap anyway. But I mean, the way he's crying like a little bitch afterwards, the guy's an actor, right? So if you think that that's all genuine, I'm going to sell you a waterfront seaside view apartment in Bradford, and you can have it for free.
All right.
You can go there whenever you want. I mean, come on.
If you sell it, then it's not really free, and if you're free, then you're not selling.
Exactly, the whole thing is upside down. That's exactly my point.
I don't think so. No, I genuinely think this happened. The other concern, or the other thing that I'm actually interested in, also, although I do actually have a whole segment that I want to play from a comedian who roasted the shit out of Will Smith afterwards. Do you want to listen to that? Because this roast is amazing. Now I'll play this in a second, but I'm still under the full impression that this happened, and but the messed up thing is, where are the feminists at? Because isn't that the symbol of toxic masculinity? Isn't that the hallmark of toxic masculinity? Now suddenly the feminists are okay about the man's chivalry and protecting his honor of his wife.
But let me make a point. There was something like 2 million of people, I mean a low number, whatever it was, tuned in to watch the Oscars. Why?
Yeah, it was about
Nobody
5.
cares about these pedophiles. Nobody cares about these liars. Nobody wants to listen to left-wing communist supporting idiots coming onto the stage and telling us who to vote for, what to think. So no one cares. This is just a very shitty way, a poor attempt to try and gain audience. It's failed. He looks like an idiot. His wife goes around having an open relationship. I mean, she can't even stay. It's just, the whole thing's ludicrous. I'm embarrassed for him. If I was him, I'd go back to Bel Air.
he actually got in one little fight, and his mom got scared and told him to send him to his auntie and uncle in Bel Air. Okay, watch just a few minutes of this. It's just the opening 2 minutes, really, or not even that, minute and a bit, which is just a beautiful roast.
After the vicious attacks on Chris Rock last night, we think it's only right here at the Flagrant 2 podcast to defend the comic's honor to tell jokes. So here we go. If you didn't see the Oscars, Chris Rock got himself in a hairy situation. He shined a light on female alopecia, while Jada's head shined a light on everything else. Chris was making fun of Jada's baldy, but seriously, how is Will supposed to get turned on if she has a woman's haircut? Now, I'm not saying that he's gay. He likes women, specifically ones that swim for Penn.
Holy shit.
All I'm saying is last night wasn't the first time Will fondled another man to make Jada happy.
Okay. Okay.
And Will's hand that struck Chris Rock was actually a metaphor for his relationship with Jada. Open when he wanted it to be closed. But let's be honest. Last night, Will Smith looked like he was from the streets of Philadelphia. And Jada looked like she was from the movie. Now, after all that drama, Will Smith still took home an Oscar. I'm talking about the award, not a Mexican guy to fuck his wife while he watched in the corner.
Okay, you gotta chill. Wow.
Now, to clarify, Will won the Oscar for Best Actor. People were saying it was for the Lifetime Achievement Award, and no, that's not it. That Oscar goes to the plumber that unclogged Jada's shower drain. Now,
That's harsh.
I am tired of people not giving Jada enough credit. Okay, it was actually Jada that helped Will get in character for King Richard. Because when she gives blowjobs, her head looks like a bouncing tennis ball. But give it up to Will, okay? Give it up to Will Smith. He is the only person to be recognized by the Motion Picture Academy and the Citizen app on the same night. And to everyone saying Will was probably under the influence, no. Okay, he doesn't drink or do drugs. This is the only time he's ever smoked a rock in his life. Now, don't feel bad for Chris Rock, okay? He was finally part of a hit white people will watch. Give Chris Rock some damn credit, okay? He took that smack like a champ. And next year, he's going to be ready, okay? He'll have more bobs and weaves than Jada's wig collection. Now, a lot of people are saying this never happened during Oscars So White. Exactly, okay? The white Oscars are mind-numbingly boring, or as Jada would call it, a relationship with Will. So, I think we can all admit this was shocking, okay? Because if there was gonna be one chick at the Oscars with a hair loss disease that doesn't understand humor, I would assume it'd be Amy Schumer.
Oh my God.
Anyway, Will, let this be a lesson to you. If you want to keep your wife's name out of other people's mouths, make sure to keep your hands off comedians. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Flagrant 2. Now
So yeah, that was the opener. Although this dude actually goes in further as well. I forgot his name is Andrew Schultz. He does go in further in the show as well. It's an hour and a half podcast. It's a brilliant piece. So anyone interested, look up Andrew Schultz and check out his roast. It's definitely worth listening to. So yeah. There we are.
I must say, I'm disappointed, and I think some of the other people in the chat are. We're disappointed that Banksy Style Live is not able to see the fakery of the not so straight Will Smith.
I'm not part of your conspiracy theory on this one. I think it's a genuine, genuine
you've
thing.
won when they rely on the conspiracy theory.
Yeah, well, I mean, all I'm saying is I'm just not part of that whole it's fake. I think it's real. It's perfectly fine to be real. It's just, it's a terrible behavior from Will Smith. And the funny thing is, do you think any other person, anyone, even other actors, even if Leonardo DiCaprio walked up to Chris Rock and slapped him, he'd be in handcuffs that night? Whilst Will Smith managed to do that, walk back to his seat, and then win the Best Actor Oscar and go up and do an acceptance speech and get a standing ovation from the audience. I don't think anyone else really would have been able to get away with that as Will did. But it is what it is.
There you go. All right, so my turn to present something. So let me share my screen. So this is a survey carried out in Canada. So what the survey did, it asked a number of questions about Ukraine to two groups. Those, which is in blue, those who have received at least 3 shots of the you-know-what vax. And also in the orange are people who have never had the COVID stab, shall we say. And what's interesting is what this survey reveals is that those people who supported the vaccines, the lockdowns, the mandates, and believed the woo-woo about that whole Chinese virus, shall we say, are also supporting going into Ukraine, supporting the Ukraine war and the official narrative. Whereas the non-vaxxed, majority of them, 52%, don't want to impose tougher sanctions on Russia, don't want to seize the asset of Russian oligarchs, don't think cutting off oil shipments from Russia is a good idea. They don't generally want to send additional military equipment, or very few of them anyway. They don't want to provide additional loans and non-military aid to Ukraine, unlike the triple jabbed. They don't think it's a good idea generally to provide Ukraine with fighter jets or to dispatch military forces to Ukraine. So 52% of them said none of the above, and 18% of them said, I don't know, no response, most likely no response. However, those who are triple, quadrupled, and everything else jabbed, 86% want to impose tougher economic sanctions. 85% want to seize the assets of Russian oligarchs. 81% cutting off oil shipments from Russia, they think is a good idea. 82% want to send additional military equipment to Ukraine. 78% think it's a good idea to provide loans and non-military aid to Ukraine. 52% want to provide Ukraine with fighter jets. Just think about that. They haven't got any pilots, but they want to provide them with fighter jets. And 30% of them thought it was a good idea to basically send the armed forces to Ukraine. And only 2% of them thought it was a bad idea to start World War III. Only 2% of them, and only 3% of them basically said, I don't know, or no response. And that, to me, I don't know how you feel, proves that all this is it's a state of mind. It's a psychological test. If you fall for one stupid joke, which was the lockdowns and the vaccine, you're most likely going to fall for the next one. And as we've been seeing on the internet, there seems to be two distinct groups of people in the world these days, or certainly in the Western world. Those who will question anything and most likely be labeled conspiracy theorists, and those who will go along with the current thing. And we've seen a lot of memes. So let's have a discussion about that. What's your thoughts on this? Because I was very happy to see this research, because obviously it goes along with my narrative.
Well, yeah, of course it goes along with your narrative. That's what you would present it. But what I would simply say is I think it's measuring personality types.
Yeah, true.
Because the personality types of the people who are less likely to take the vaccine are the ones who are going to be far more skeptical of mainstream media, mainstream narratives, political narratives that the politicians are trying to endorse or push. So, of course, they're going to be the most skeptical of people. So you're basically asking the most skeptical people of questions which obviously they're going to answer negatively to, because they are the narrative that the governments and the media are pushing, which is Russia evil, Russia must be stopped, and all of these questions are really pertaining is anti-Russian.
But what you're forgetting is one side is trying to expand and grow the war, which is obviously bad. Unless you're Satan, and the other side is saying we don't want to do any of that. Let's just not expand the war. So
I think that's
surely those who question everything and saying let's not do any of the above are on the side of good, whereas the other libtards wanting to go in there and cause as much havoc as possible. Doesn't that what this survey shows as well?
No, not at all. Because this is what I mean. I think look at the questions that are being proposed. Impose tougher sanctions, economic sanctions on Russia. Doesn't involve Third World War. Seizing the assets of Russian oligarchs associated with President Putin. Again, nothing would suggest that this would escalate the war. Cutting off oil shipments to Russia. Now, oil shipments to Russia or from Russia. Okay. Again. It doesn't mean anything to do with the war, but countries like Germany will never abide by that. Sending additional military equipment to Ukraine, Britain is already doing that. So is America. Again, none of these are demonstrating escalation. Providing
let me
additional
explain how it is.
providing additional loans and non-military aid to Ukraine. Again, none of these suggest escalation. Providing Ukraine with fighter jets. Now, this one would, and if you notice, on this question, which would absolutely escalate the situation because Russia would then use much more harsher tactics, because if they're matched in the air and they don't have air dominance, then it would escalate the war, and only 52% agree on that one. So the questions are kind of questions that I think are quite
I disagree.
deceptive.
You're very naive. Let me explain. So imposing tougher economic sanctions on Russia. Think about that. Imposing tougher economic sanctions on Russia. So
Sure.
what's that going to do? It's going to cause a lot of hardship. It's going to cause a lot of hardline groups to come forward, and it's going to create a lot of hatred. You're creating a situation which, for example, World War II is a fine example, where Germany was economically in a tough position and about to hit the wall, when, you know, Germany and many others have in history choose war as a good way to drag the country out of economic hardship. So that would actually push Russia to go deeper into the war, because by going into war, it creates jobs, it creates parts of the economy to function. Otherwise, it all will. I mean, look at Cuba, right? Let's look at Cuba recently when the US sanctions hit there. Look what happened to that. It was an absolute shithole. So in that respect, the economic sanctions will actually create more of a war, in my opinion. Seizing assets of Russian oligarchs associated with President Putin. Fine, it may not push the countries into a war situation, but when we're talking about oligarchs, we're talking about billionaires. We're talking about people that can spend their money, not their entire wealth, but a portion of their wealth into politics. And if they are angry at a certain country, at a certain president, they could use their influence to push their own president, prime minister, or whoever to go into war, or certainly cause some kind of nuisance. We look at George Soros, look at Bill Gates, look at all these other American-style billionaires who use their wealth for political gains. Cutting off shipment from Russia. I mean, if you cut off shipments, one of the main sources of income for Russia, they're going to be peed off. They're not going to say, fine, we'll send you a bouquet of flowers for cutting off shipments. People are going to get angry. It's all creating a lot of negativity. Surely, Banksy, you would know that. This is the type of thing that they did to your parents' home country, Iran. And look how that ended up. Has Iran eased their anger towards the West? No,
No, it's nothing to do with that. But Iran isn't invading countries and militarily dominating their neighbors, which, if anything, it would have some justification, especially when America.
How can you say that when Iran
invaded
had openly said that if they could, they would bomb Israel off the map?
Well, again, it's rhetoric. That's just rhetoric. Actions matter. Rhetoric is just wind in the air. I don't really care about what they say. It's what they do that matters. And again, if you look at this survey, everything is in the 70 to 80%, actually averaging 80% plus when it comes to the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the first 5 questions averages over 80% in popularity, whilst there is a massive sharp drop between that and the last two, which are 52 and 30%, because people recognize
82% want to send additional
again, that doesn't because they've been doing that anyway, and that has not escalated the situation. Things like Stinger missiles and small arms are not going to escalate the situation.
That's ludicrous to say it hasn't escalated it. Of course it escalated it. 78% think it's a good idea to provide additional financial support and non-military aid to Ukraine. Now, let's look at World War II, right? How many European corporations, American corporations, and British corporations actually finance both sides or the German war effort? A lot. Everything from Ford to the leading high street banks. It's just even IKEA. Who was it that did IKEA was disclosed? I can't remember the figures now. So all this is going down the same road. I can't believe you think that this wouldn't expand the war.
No.
And then they're saying, and then 52 over 0.5% are saying, yeah, let's send fighter jets to Ukraine. Come on,
Again,
dude.
no, you see-
people are criminally evil who think that doing all this will not cause a massive amount of killing. Just
No,
because
no,
they're
no.
going to die themselves with all the jobs.
I think you and I are looking at this chart in a very different way. I'm looking at it to the mindset and the habitual sort of patterns of these types of people who are 3 vaccinated or more versus people who are not vaccinated. I'm not looking at what the governments will actually do. I'm looking at how these patterns of these minds are working, and everything up until question providing Ukraine with fighter jets is not unreasonable for people who have already believed in the narrative of Ukraine, poor Ukrainians, evil Russians. So if you're already in that camp, the first 5 are not actually that incredibly out of unbelievable. They would absolutely, it would be perfectly acceptable to accept those things. But the last 2, the 52 and the 30%, and of course the last one, the last 2 are pro, if you like, possibly pro-Russian or none of the above, and don't know, which are kind of neutral status. But the ones pertaining to which would actually increase the real possibility of escalation, severe escalation, are questions provide Ukraine with fighter jets and dispatch military forces to Ukraine, dispatching NATO forces or American forces. Those 2 questions are quite telling, and the drop in popularity is very telling, even amongst those who have already bought the narrative that Ukraine is poor, poor Ukrainians and evil Russians, and we must do something and totally, go out there and do something about Russia. Even amongst them, this is not a popular move, because they recognize you are now, with the other questions, you are giving us possible escalation measures, or it may escalate the situation. But the last 2 will definitely escalate the situation, and not even this category of people want that.
I thought, I agree with a lot of some of the things that you said there. But when I came across that post on Speakers Con Online, at the same time I came across this one. This is from a writer called Naomi Schulman. She said, "Nice people made the best Nazis. My mum grew up next to them. They got along, refused to make waves, looked the other way when things got ugly, and focused on happier things than politics. They were lovely people who turned their heads as their neighbors were dragged away. You know who weren't nice people? Resistors, or as we call them in the modern day, conspiracy theorists."
No. You can still call people who resist resistors. They don't have to be conspiracy theories to resist. Again, you're conflating it. You're trying to win something for your particular side, and I don't think that's the case. People who take the vaccine can still resist a whole host of things. Ben Shapiro, as a good example of someone who is hated by the left, who doesn't accept the narratives of the left, who still promotes and supports the vaccination, who has no problems with the vaccination, but he doesn't. There's a whole slew of other policies and other measures that he doesn't agree with. I'm sure Tucker Carlson has taken his vaccines, but he doesn't agree with the Russian with the narrative that has been presented against Russia and for Ukraine. So there's a slew of people. This is very, very deceptive.
Hey Banksy, what's a woman?
An adult human female.
But what's a woman?
That's what the dictionary describes it. An adult human female.
A woman can have a penis. I'm not. I don't think we can conduct this debate with,
Sorry, have I offended you in some way?
No. It's just.
I'm just going to stop it there for a second. I just want to remind everybody that this turd that we're going to watch squirm like the pile of shit that he is, was the head of the CPS Crown Prosecution Service. that when the information and evidence were presented about Jimmy Savile, they did not prosecute Jimmy Savile. In fact, the information was hidden, right? So any of this talk that he wasn't to know and he was following protocol, trust me, these people are high-level evil and just completely diabolical. I just wanted to say that because I want everyone to picture this human being for what he is as we watch this fully. Right, I'm going to share the screen now.
No.
A woman can have a penis.
I don't think that discussing this issue in this way helps anyone in the long run. What I want to see is a reform of the law as it is, but I also am an advocate of safe spaces for women, and I want to have a discussion that is anybody who genuinely wants to find a way through this is I want to discuss that with. I do find that too many people, in my view, retreat or hold a position of which is intolerant of others, and that's not picking on any individual at all. But I don't like intolerance. I like open discussion.
What a pussy. Banksy, your thoughts, please.
Yeah, thank the Lord Almighty that I don't believe in that Keir Starmer is nowhere near the 10 Downing Street, and let's keep him that way. In all honesty, though, I mean, given the disastrous Conservative Party that we currently have, and a lot of the sort of leftist policies, effectively, that they implement, because we don't really have a Conservative Party or even a Conservative political body at the moment in Britain that is really conservative. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not a conservative. I'm actually a centrist liberal at best. I believe in gay rights. I believe in abortion rights. I believe in all of those things. I have no problem with gay, transgender, transsexual people living their lives. But to get to the point in which we can't say what is a woman anymore, we've veered off the beaten path badly. I mean, not even like a slight deviation. This is now, we're headed to God knows where. If you can't actually say the thing that human beings have known since before there were human beings, because even animals know the difference between male and female of the species. It's not just us. You can go ask a dog what is a woman, and it will give you a better answer than Keir Starmer. It's unbelievable. A lot of Joe Rogan actually on his podcast said it as well. And a lot of people have been saying it for a long time. This is usually the signs of a downfall of a society. This is the downfall of most advanced societies. The Greeks, the Romans, they all imploded because of these scenarios, because of what I guess if you're a religious person or generally conservative would call degeneracy. Now, again, I fully support gay people and trans people to live their life, but the degeneracy that the conservatives talk about. Now, I don't want to besmirch a gay person and deny them their right to live, but we all have to be under the understanding that yes, you can be gay, but as an adult you can be gay. And we know that trans people are men or women who are transitioning towards female or malehood, but they are never going to be on equal standing as a woman or a man. A trans man who is a woman who became a man will never be a man, and a trans woman will never be a woman. You will be in this permanent status of transition in which your psychological health will benefit somehow from it, so that you don't commit suicide, even though that's even not really guaranteed. But we're just tolerating it for your health. But you're not going to infringe upon what human beings, the fundamental basis of what a human being has been and known for since the dawn of humanity. That is a step too far, and especially now that they're touching on kids, they're infiltrating schools, they are pressing their luck now. And I be honest, I think the backlash is going to affect a lot of very normal well-adjusted gay people, very normal, well-adjusted, even trans people that don't want any of this crap. This is coming from a fringe.
Yeah, I would say my answer is a woman is somebody with a woman. Anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. So this one is one of my favorites for this week.
That there's even people in Hollywood that are opposed, to providing protections for parents and enforcing parents' rights. The one thing I'll say about that is, if the people who held up degenerates like Harvey Weinstein up as exemplars and as heroes and as all that, if those are the types of people that are opposing us on parents' rights, I wear that like a badge of honor.
Hey. Well said. Can I just compare my teacup to yours, please?
How about this? Yes, my teacup is actually a Hendrix gin cup.
Ah.
And I like this cup because it's just perfect for that, 2 or 3 mouthfuls of tea so your tea stays in the pot, which I have here, and that tea then remains hot whilst I sip the tea in the cup, and then I can pour some more, and I'll always have a regularly hot tea.
No, wait a minute. Are you actually drinking tea? Because I was under the impression you're drinking alcohol.
No. This is like mixture of fruit, herbal, and green tea. It's like a little concoction that I make.
I'm sorry, mate. I took out a full-page advert in the Metro calling you an alcoholic. I didn't realise that was the case. Yeah. This is tea, and I like it. Well, no, I can't drink when it's weekdays, man. Fridays is about the only day I give myself. Friday, Saturdays, because weekdays I gotta work tomorrow. I'm gonna have headache. I can't be dealing with all that BS. And your friend Zabida's now a fully fledged activist. She's been walking around Speaker's Corner. Somebody posted a video on Speaker's Corner online. She's been walking around, not a Speaker's Corner, in London with a megaphone or something.
Oh yeah, she went to a Day Against Racism protest a couple of weeks ago, and I guess someone handed her a megaphone, and she ranted away. I'd be honest, I didn't see it. I saw the little clips, like little bits that someone sent me about Ozabedas in London. But who cares? It's just another thought amongst the thoughts.
I've noticed that she has gone down the Respect route of just like Respect had to put everybody into the camp of you are racist against black people. She's now having to put everybody into this so-called Islamophobe camp in order for her to feel that she's moving forward. That's my opinion of it. She even had some a lawyer that represents some of these jihadis, I believe. I don't know his full background. She had him on his show, and he just said something, and I couldn't believe he said it. I thought, God, you're dumb. The guy is low IQ, and he said Islamophobia is indirect racism. And I thought, wow, that's just absolutely amazing. And I couldn't believe, I'm not saying academic people are intelligent, far from it, but I just thought that was so stupid. But what is it? What is it about this term Islamophobia and certain portion of the Muslim community? Why do they have to put you in that box in order to function? I mean, can they not see that the people that they are calling Islamophobe is actually just critical thinking?
The thing is, these people are race baiters. This is what Respect's whole shtick is about. His entire career is built on race baiting. He was out protesting. By the way, there's Content Over Everything. Content Over Everything is now still making videos. It's just he's not posting them on the COE site. He's posting them on a site called C News. And his content is still as brilliant as ever. So I suggest anyone out there, I'm giving a shout out, but yeah, go and check out C News because content is still out there. It's just he was covering the protest. I don't know if you know the child Q protest, a young girl who was strip searched at school for drugs. Now, even I was a bit like, that's a bit extra. That's a bit excessive. Strip searching a girl at school, not even calling her parents. That's a step too far. I don't care whether you're the police or the freaking school people, the teachers, but that's a step too far. You at least call the parents and say, look, come down, because we need to do this to search your daughter. So could you please at least be present when we do this, or at least talk to your daughter and say, does she have anything on her? Because we can still smell drugs. This is the whole thing. It's just ridiculous that you strip search a young girl. I don't know what she was. She's so young that she's actually under the age of having her name publicized. So that's why they call her Child Q. So she must be like 12, 13 at best, maybe even younger. Who knows? But anyway. Raspek was there. Now, instead of addressing this situation, Raspek went into his whole... It's so cringe, dude. It's so cringy. I mean, I can show it if you want, but it is the cringiest fucking speech he made. And then he started rapping. First of all, he did his race baiting bullshit. So, systemic racism, man, and all that jazz. Then he started rapping on the step. And... people didn't really know what to do. At the end, it was like that golf clap, like 4 people just clapped as he went off. It was just horrific. And I was like, what part of this, man, do you think is actually beneficial to your community? But it's not, because he doesn't give a shit about the community. He's there for himself. This is his stage to promote his rap career or whatever the hell he wants to do. So that's exactly what Zubaydah is doing. Zubaydah is following the footsteps of Raspek because she wants to use the Islamophobia as her cudgel, as her little thing, shtick, to gain whatever supporters, career, whatever the hell it is. I mean, let's be honest. Zubaydah's prospects in the world are not great.
We don't need to get personal like that. Let's just keep it on the political level. I mean, this is what I don't understand about a lot of these online shows, especially yours, Banksy. You guys going hard on the personal level. I don't understand why you guys need to do that. Why can you guys not keep it on kind of a broad level where you're really questioning the person's logic more than anything else?
Well,
rather than
the thing is, on my show, I'm attempting some form of level of comedic. I'm trying to be funny. I'm trying to make it comedic. Just like you saw this guy just now, Andrew Schultz. He went balls deep on Jada and Will Smith. He didn't hold back. He wasn't talking about, I don't know what the mindset of Will Smith was at the time. He's not trying to psychoanalyze Will Smith and Jada Pinkett. He's going just balls deep on roasting the shit out of them. So there is a space for that when you have a show. I call my show, I don't label my show IQ level 500 plus. I don't label it, this is going to be highbrow conversation. I label it the drunken troll show. You know what to get. You know it's written on the box. It's what we say and what we do is on the tin. So
anyway, I'm going to help Zubaydah's next video. So I'm going to show this Islamophobe here.
Let me ask you a few questions. You've arrived. I see you've arrived here at the refugee center here. Are you Ukraine? Yeah. Yes, sir. Are you Ukrainians? Yes, sir. Okay. And you flew in from Ukraine. From Ukraine. Yes, okay. From Donetsk. Okay. City Donetsk. Yeah. Yes. If you don't mind me saying so, you don't look like you're from Ukraine. No, just national of Ukraine. You're just nationals of Ukraine passport. Okay. Yeah, so you're Ukrainian citizen. Yeah. Okay. You can say by origin we are from Kashmir. From Kashmir. Yes. Yes. Okay. Indian. Okay. So, yeah, so I'm just an Irish journalist here, citizen journalist. So I'm just asking, we're concerned here in Ireland that they're taking in 200,000 people, and we were being told that it's women and children are being taken in. So you're claiming refugee status here now? Yes. Okay. So we just heard reports that there are people coming from Middle East, Africa, or whatever, who aren't Ukrainians, were coming in through this refugee centre, and we were told as Irish citizens that it's women and children, you know. So how do you feel about that? Yeah, and you're a Ukrainian citizen, and were you not asked to stay and fight for Ukraine?
No, yes, we are 60 years old.
You're 60 years old?
We are old.
Oh, you're 60, yeah, and you're 60 as well. And this man, how are you? Nice to meet you.
Yeah, so...
And this man here is 60 as well. Are you from the Kashmir as well?
No,
He's
from Ukraine.
You're from Ukraine, yeah? Okay, thank you. And what's your name, sorry? Zio. Zion, okay. Okay, look, please...
Can I just say, I think he said Jeevan, which is not a Ukrainian name. It's... I'm going to stop it here because I'm just going to say something ridiculous. But can you believe the shit that the establishment is pulling? I mean, of course they're not Ukrainians, you know. Of course they're not running from the war. They're just taking a free ticket, just like they've been doing from the Middle East and coming over. These are essentially illegal immigrants that are being backed by the state.
Well, I mean, whether it's backed by the state or anything else, it's the most ridiculous thing. I mean, I showed that clip, and I showed a clip. Have you seen the clip where the young African girl is showing a picture of a white girl? It's a white blonde girl, and she goes, and the guy in French is asking her, "So is this you?" She goes, "Yeah, it's me. It's just I was. This was like 10 years ago. It was a long time ago. The picture was taken." It's like, really? 10 years ago, this picture, and the guy's like, yeah, it must be very old, because she changed race since then. I mean, it's unbelievable. But unfortunately, I mean, I guess, you know, people are trying their luck. I mean, you see, in one hand, I can't blame the people who want to get into Europe or get into Britain. They're hustlers. They're trying their luck, and fair play on that level. I can't honestly downplay something like that. But it's our end. It's our border guards. It's our policymakers, British policymakers. They're the ones that have to make robust policies to not just allow any willy-nilly person to come in. So it's not on it's almost like they're saying, well, it's the onus is on the people who want to come into this country. They shouldn't come. It's like, no, dude, they're going to come. It's on you to make sure that they don't get in, or when they do come in illegally, that there is a process in which we can send them back swiftly, or process their case if they're genuine refugees. If they're genuine refugees, we process the case, but we don't just let them disappear, melt into the society, and never hear from them again, and never find out who they are. They've been here decades, some of them 10 years, and never had any kind of case set up, never had any kind of thing. I mean, people, admittedly, it's becoming harder and harder for people to work illegally and to make money illegally, because most of your cash is a rare thing that most people use. So I suppose as we become more of a digital currency type of a society, less cashless society, then it will make it very hard, because you literally won't have any credit to be able to work, to be able to earn. You won't have any way of actually earning cash, money to then spend to live. So if you can't have money to spend and live, then what are you going to do? You're going to look for somewhere else. So maybe this cashless society aspect, there is those types of benefits. But of course, we know what the cashless society is also going to bring is a huge amount of oversight and control by the powers that be. So it's it's a bit of a I don't know what they call double-ended sword. Whichever end you grab, you're going to get cut. Because
the country's full, though. We can't take on. I mean, it's not viable anymore. But moving on to the next subject. Do you have smelly feet, Fancy?
Do I have what?
Smelly feet.
I hope not. I wash them regularly. I pedicure.
Check this out. This is very funny.
En cuanto a las demandas y a la demanda.
Oh, that is so good. Well done. Oh, so well done. Oh, wow. That she took a hard one. Shit.
Also, okay, wollen Sie gleich ans Expertentelefon gehen, Herr Ohm?
I mean,
that was well done.
They
that was very well done.
Comedy video, but obviously those presenters were all recently, that thing that we're not allowed to say. So yeah, I thought it was a good idea to do a video, but that's not what I want to discuss with you. I want to discuss this with you, Vance. I think you're going to enjoy this one.
If you have kids at home, this next segment is for you. This Friday, the newest batch of Disney Channel stars grown in the Disney Genetic Engineering Lab will be unveiled to the public.
Right. Now, Tracy, most of our viewers are already familiar with a lot of the products that have come out of the Disney Lab. Yes. But how exactly do you create a Hilary Duff or a Miley Cyrus from scratch? Right. Well, we're going to find out exactly how it's done right now, because joining us live from the Disney Lab is one of their lead geneticists, Dr. Andrew Rourke. Welcome, Dr. Rourke. There's quite an operation you've got going on out there.
Thanks, Jim.
So the stars that we see on TV are actually grown right here?
That's correct. They're grown and developed here. We engineer their brains for advanced singing and dancing capabilities, even posing photos. By the time they grow to desired size, these child stars are fully ready for the camera or the concert tours or whatever Disney chooses to put them in.
That is. How long does it take to actually create a star from scratch?
Well, not very long at all.
You know that's fake, right? You know that whole thing. So it's like Babylon Bee or The Onion. They do these types of things as well all the time. It looks like a real news thing, but it's actually this whole thing. But to be honest with you, there was a time when you could, if you went back 10 years ago, not even 10, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, and you said to someone, there will come a day where people won't know what a woman is, they would laugh their ass off. If I made a newsreel where I would show the Prime Minister, I don't know, Cameron at the time, saying, excuse me, sir, do you know what a woman is? And he's like, no, these discussions. If he went into a bullshit rant like Keir Starmer did 5 years ago, 10 years ago, people would laugh their ass off. They would 100% say, this is a comedy show. Obviously, you guys are taking the piss. This is not reality. People know what a woman is. But here we are. Here we are. Nobody knows what a fucking woman is. Apparently, the word "what is a the phrase "what is a woman" or the question is one of those cryptic, quantum physics, metaphysical, philosophical aspects of life that we can't answer anymore. We simply cannot get our heads around what is a woman. Just like asking, what happens during the double slit experiment? Why are quantums sometimes waves and sometimes particles on the same level? What is a woman? The mysteries of the universe. This is unbelievable. Unbelievable. Do you know who's loving this, though? Do you know who's loving this? The Russians, the Chinese. They are loving this aspect of Western society because they know that we are weak as piss in this state when we are confused about what a woman is. Because I promise you, Russians know what the fuck a woman is. I guarantee you, the Chinese know what a woman is. They have no quandaries about that. And by extension, you could even say the people, the other sort of potential enemies of the West, like the Iranians, the Yemenis, the Saudis. By the way, don't think the Saudis, the Qataris, Emiratis, these people are friends. They're not. They're not allies of the West. They are simply buying their time. And if they could, they would mount up with Salahuddin at a heart's notice, at a second's notice, to get right across the Arabian Peninsula and come and take back Spain again. They still think Spain belongs to them. They still think Spain is Andalusia. You think they don't want Spain back? Oh, they want Spain back. So don't think for 1 second that the Iranians and the Saudis and the Qataris and the Emiratis are not gleefully laughing at the fact that we can't say what a woman is anymore. They are loving this shit. Every person who spits and curses the West loves this kind of bullshit. Because they know how pathetic and weak we've become, that we can't tell what a woman is anymore. This is a terrible thing that is happening to the West, and no one seems to give a shit. The Hollywood types are fucking degenerates as fuck.
Okay, next video. Here we go.
Hi, this is Madonna. This is Madonna, the mother of Jesus. Hi, this is Madonna. Hi, this is...
Take one more step, yeah.
She was already drunk. Why is she still drinking?
Hi, I'm drunk.
Hey.
Damn.
Ready for the cocaine to take around. Fighters. We're all fighters. Don't anybody touch me. I'm gonna call the police.
What do you make of that? Do you think that's genuine?
God knows, but either way, Madonna is a fucking known degenerate. She's been a degenerate for 30, 40 years. She hasn't stopped. You think she's going to suddenly stop taking cocaine and drinking alcohol like it's going out of fashion? To me, she's just this raggedy older woman now who is way past her prime and still trying to be relevant and stay hip. This, to me, is the quintessential, the mutton dressed as lamb. That's what, if you ever wanted to have a mental image of what mutton dressed as lamb looks like, Madonna is your example now.
All right, next video.
Good that the actions we're taking are making a difference, but obviously, the leaders today will be discussing what more needs to be done.
Just finally, I just want to ask you a question, which seems to be very complicated for a lot of politicians these days, not just on the Labour side. Keir Starmer seems to find this a difficult question to answer. Rishi Sunak, what is a woman?
Well, I thought the Prime Minister answered this brilliantly in Prime Minister's Question Times. In Prime Minister's Questions this week, and I fully agree with him.
And so what is your definition of a woman?
As I said, I would exactly agree with what the Prime Minister said at Prime Minister's Question Time. I thought he answered the question very
well. An adult human female?
Sorry, Julia, as I said, I thought the Prime Minister answered the question brilliantly.
He thought he answered brilliantly. So what were the words that he said that you agree with, Chancellor?
Well, I think if you look at the full thing that he said on Wednesday, he answered the question brilliantly, and I would agree with every word that he said.
Well, answer from you, are we? It's a really simple question.
I can't remember.
Well, okay.
This is so bad.
Adult human female.
I thought he put it very well, and I think actually you get his language, and I'd happily associate myself with every word that he said. I thought he put it very well.
What did he say? What the hell did he say? I don't know what he said. I wasn't sitting eagerly rubbing my hands together as I listened to QMP or PMQs. I don't watch that shit. What did he say?
And did you see that video when he was exposed of his wife receiving something like 13 million from shares of an Indian company that's still heavily invested in Russia? And he tried to say, well, how's that? What's that got to do with me? I mean, it's just ludicrous. I mean, the insider dealing and the corruption of British, American, or Western politicians is beyond comprehension. It's
Dude, the insider trading. It's not just insider dealing. The Americans, especially Nancy Pelosi, and by the way, Nancy Pelosi's husband, it runs what was it? An investment? No, is it an investment? No, not an investment bank. It's something to do with trading house or something like that. You know what are those things called? Come on,
brokerages.
Yeah, and she was in a room prior to the 2020 lockdowns, making policies about how they're going to lock down the whole country and all these shops and stores, and then they started dumping all of their shares in companies that were clearly going to suffer from this situation, companies who have stores and shops that they're going to have to shut down, and then started buying tech tech stocks and Amazon stocks and companies who are going to basically go through the roof, Zoom and all these other companies. They literally started to do that prior to bringing in the frigging policies. This is clear insider trading. It's unbelievable how these people are walking free with obvious insider trading in the way that they are. But they're doing it. They're doing it, and they're multimillionaires for it.
Yeah, well, let's have a look at that, shall we?
You mentioned that. You mentioned the pressure on Russia. It's been reported that you've got family links to Russia, that your wife apparently has a stake in the Indian IT consultancy firm Infosys. They operate in Moscow. They have an office there. They have a delivery office there. They've got a connection to the Alpha Bank in Moscow. Are you giving advice to others that you're not following in your own home?
That's not. I'm an elected politician, and I'm here to talk to you about what I'm responsible for. My wife is not.
She is not, but equally, if you as a country, we are asking taxpayers to fund the UK's support for Ukraine. We're asking people in the UK to give their homes up to Ukrainian refugees, whereas it appears your family potentially could be benefiting from Putin's regime.
No, I don't think that's the case. And as I said, the operations of all companies are up to them. We've put in place significant sanctions, and all the companies that we are responsible for are following those, as they rightly should, sending a very strong message to Putin's aggression.
Do you know if Infosys is?
I have absolutely no idea, because I have nothing to do with that company.
In terms of...
No, your wife does.
Yeah, I just want to say that I'm so happy that's come out, because Rishi Sunak, though he has been trained by the World Economic Forum, that he is a puppet of the World Economic Forum. He entered politics from their training, essentially. He was a young global leader of the World Economic Forum, just like Trudeau, just like many other corrupt politicians in the West. But he's also a former Goldman Sachs trader or hedge fund manager. I can't remember which one. And I'm glad all this came out, because people can see and will not be blindly voting for this puppet who's working for corporate interests. And I'm happy, because I was really scared that the likes of him and Priti Patel, who is from my understanding or assumption, a Israeli asset. These people are being conditioned, or certainly the British population are being conditioned to have these people as our prime ministers and so on and so forth. So I personally was very happy that the light has been shone on this chap. What do you think of that video? Did you love it or what?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people were, assuming that Rishi Sunak is the successor to Johnson before long, but I'm just glad that all of this is now coming out. Let's air all his dirty laundry, because I think he came across as one of these people that he was gonna, he's charismatic, he's young, and also he's gonna fit the narrative of modern age of BAME, having an Indian prime minister in Britain. How progressive are we gonna be for that? So all these progressive points that he accrues are certainly going to try to appeal to the left, funnily enough, as a conservative. So yeah, no, I'm more than happy. Let's air all his dirty laundries, because in all honesty, you're right. I think he's another Trudeau. He's another Trudeau in the waiting, and he's going to do to Britain what exactly Justin Trudeau did to Canada. And did you see, by the way, how the European Union and the European parliaments, the members, the MEPs treated Trudeau and the things they said about Trudeau? Do you have some of those clips?
I will have them somewhere, actually. Let me...
I mean, we are 4 minutes over the time, by the way. It's
maybe I'll dig it out for next week, if that's...
Yeah, let's put... I've got a collection of these that I can put together as well. So yeah, we'll discuss, because in a nutshell, the MEPs, especially ones from Croatia and Eastern Europe, Romania and Croatia, absolutely slaughtered Trudeau. And also there was a German lady as well, who I mean, I was surprised that German MEP, got stuck into Trudeau as well. So quite a few, and also when before the Justin Trudeau speech, the auditorium was full of MEPs. When he got up to speak, they all, like 80% of them left. There was like 10 people left in the auditorium. And the funny thing is, the Canadian news, and by the way, I got all of this from the Lotus Eaters, the Canadian news agencies, Canadian BBC version, I think CBC or something like that, they put on their website, Justin Trudeau got a standing ovation at the European Union when he gave his speech. Yeah, from about 10 people, 5 of them were working for him. I suppose if 10 people stand up and clap, that's a standing ovation, but that was the only 10 people listening to what he had to say, because everyone else left. So that's what's going down with Trudeau. Now, something I want to quickly say, Angel Moon, please accept my friend request on Speaker's Corner Online. I sent you a friend request, and I'm still waiting. Please do that.
Are you not friends with Angel Moon?
Well, no, I sent the friend request, so she has to accept it if I don't
accept your friend request. Maybe she doesn't like you. She's accepted my friend request.
Maybe. But either way, it's still waiting. Maybe she just missed it.
Okay,
I'm putting it in the text as well.
Any closing thoughts before we close the stream down?
Be careful of who is delivering your news to you. It's hard to pass through the massive mountain of shite.
Wait a minute. Joe Buzz wants to ask you a question. Joe, if you type your question in, I can see if I can get Banksy to answer it.
Where is he? Where is he asking to ask me a question? Oh, by the way, Joe Baz keeps sending me these Islamic websites and these Islamic channels, and they're bollocks. I don't know if you're. I'm beginning to think Joe Baz is actually a Muslim. He's a crypto.
Joe Baz is a Muslim, and he keeps. He's what's the word when you keep following somebody? What's that term?
Stalker.
Yeah, he's online stalker type human being. Keeps sending me all these Islamic videos and invitations to join these panels of these weirdos. I just ignore it. I haven't blocked him, but I don't use Twitter anyway. Every time I go on there, every 2, 3, whatever, he's usually accumulated about 17 messages. I just go far in his general direction.
I mean, I don't mind. I encourage people sending me stuff because it expands. But his stuff is just one-sided, biased Muslim propaganda. So I just, if I open it and it's just some Muslim propagandist bullshit from Speaker's Corner, Ali Darwa's, the Darwa team, or Daniel Hikachu bollocks, I just like, okay, next. I don't even tell Baz that. I'm ignoring most of this shit. I just ignore it because you see, the block button, the greatest block button of all time, is right here. I can block you whilst I stand in front of you. That's how much I've got this block shit on lockdown.
I don't use Twitter, so it doesn't really bother me anyways. Twitter's a load of rubbish now. So. Anyway, he hasn't sent a question for you to answer. So,
it says Speaker's Corner Online Q&A, but he didn't say anything.
Okay, maybe next week maybe we'll get him on one day. But
I don't think he does. He talk actually on the mic?
I don't know. I don't even know who he is.
Yeah, it's hard because some of these guys, they don't really talk.
Angel Moon saying that she did reluctantly accept your friend's request. She wasn't happy that you don't have the same status as Manny Sinder, but she has accepted it a few days ago.
Require a few days ago. Oh, okay. Thank you. I'll check it. Well, I mean, technically, I don't know how.
I like Angel Moon. She obviously hasn't accepted a friend's request, but she's saying
she did.
that she did.
I see it now.
By ignoring it, she knows that it's in limbo and you can never be friends. Well done, Angel. I like it. I like clever girl.
Yeah. I've got the usual suspects. I've got Simon, Pavlov, Raj, you, and now Angel. Actually, I don't know who else is on my friends list. I don't have that many. I've got to send out more requests.
Apparently, there's been a. Okay, no, I'm not allowed to share that yet. I was about to open up a whole new can of worms. Right, so everyone. All right, so shall we end it there? So next week we're going to have some guests on. We actually do want Angel Moon to come on at some point because she posts some amazing stuff on Speakers Corner Online, and so does Open Your Eyes UK. Hopefully we can get both these guys on at the same time, or if not, we'll definitely like Angel Moon on because she talks a lot of sense. And her posts are awesome. I do watch a lot of the videos that you post on Speakers Corner Online, Angel Moon. I just don't always comment, so my apologies for that.
Hass, I've got you on my list. I've got a Hassan. I don't know how many Hassans you've got out there, but I've got one Hassan. Actually, I've got two Hassans. Hassan Yilmaz. Yeah, I've got 2 accounts that are on my friends list. So I don't know how many accounts you're opening, dude, but you're gonna have to stick to like 1, maybe 2. I can't keep following like 14 Hassans. Guys, girls, final thoughts. Sorry, just before we wrap it up, all go to speakerscorner.online and register and get yourself an account. And you don't have to give your real address or real name, even nothing real. Just join. Just join, because that is where we mostly post our more. The stuff we can't post on YouTube, I can't put on Twitter. I'll be honest, that's what I do, and I think that's what Manny does as well. And there's a whole slew of us, and you can actually post and say and speak the things you want to say without worries of banning and other nonsense. So go there, because we will use that stuff for this show, material effectively for this show and other things. So I'll be honest, there's a whole bunch of stuff that's on Speakers Corner Online that we can't even discuss in this show, even, because they won't let us. They'll ban the channel. They'll ban the stream. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of things that we are doing that we can't share here. It's 100% free. It's literally free. People are like, because there's a whole bunch of other stuff like locals, and there's a whole bunch of other like sites similar. And most of them are actually, you have to pay. You have to either become some sort of a patron or something. So there's money involved in a lot of these other sites if you want to get the full content. Like, for example, the Lotus Eaters, which is the Sargon of Akkad stuff. They post some of their stuff on YouTube, but if you want the full stream or the full thing, you have to go to their website and you have to subscribe for like £5-10 a month to actually get it. But this stuff is all free. There's no payment. There's nothing. It's just free to, and again, it's happening. The net is closing every day. It's getting smaller and smaller. The things you can say, the things you can do. Eventually, we literally will go live and go, hello, goodbye, goodbye, because that'll be the only things you're allowed to say. You can't actually say anything else unless it's about puppies and chickens and ducks or something. I don't know, cats. So yeah, before we get to the point where we just have to purely do cat reviews, get on Speakers Corner Online, where actual conversations are taking place. And by the way, I mean, there's other places as well, but generally it's like the places that it's the only place that I feel comfortable now posting, because I know I'm not going to get slapped down. I'm not going to get deranked. Monetization is available. Actually, by the way, monetization is available on Speakers Corner Online. You can actually tip people, and they will pay you. I think they said something like 80-90% of the payment.
Yeah.
So it's much better than YouTube anyway. Much better than YouTube Super Chats. If you're a content creator out there and you want to create content and you want people to tip you and you want to get the most of your money, have your audience tip you on Speaker's Corner. You can still do your stream on YouTube or Twitch or wherever, but you can actually have Speaker's Corner give you the money or process the payment for you, because it's much better than the deals you're going to get in other places. So there's a lot of things on there, but nobody really gives a shit. Nobody seems to use the stuff that's on there. You can tip anyone who is producing content on that site. So it's up to you guys. Get out there and at least have some real grown-up conversations instead of this nonsense that we get on, the mainstream social media.
And also, you get to earn digital tokens, and those digital tokens are going to be put onto a blockchain eventually. So when something like that goes onto a blockchain and becomes an actual cryptic token, the value of that is going to be quite high, I would have thought, or certainly much higher than at the moment. So joining sooner rather than later would make sense. But having said that, how many tokens do you have, Banksy?
Well, I've been posting a lot for a while, so I've got like 100.
What?
Yeah. I've been a busy boy. But
Whoa, wait a minute. How come I think I've got less than 30, and you got 100?
Dude, I've been posting since the beginning. I started with much lower.
So have I, but I haven't got 100 tokens.
Well, maybe you don't know the right people. Maybe you need to know the right people. I don't know, man. I'm not too worried about the tokens at the moment. But yeah, you can acquire tokens by posting videos and photos, and other content as well. I think you can even like put comments and you get a token. If you not just one comment, but I don't know exactly how many, but you got to put a few comments in, and you get that as well. But definitely photos and videos is my thing. So I've been posting a lot of videos and photos. You can go there, check out my shit. How many videos have you got posted on your channel? On your
nowhere near us, no one, and nothing as near as you. I mean, I don't
exactly. I'm at nearly 300 videos, and I'm gonna bump up my photos to the same level as well. I want to get like 500-600 photos and videos on there. So I've been.
I think Raj and Hassan wants to come on. I mean, I can't stay, but are you staying? Do you want to stay? Or can we get this close?
Oh man, you guys are killing me. It's 9 o'clock.
Next week, shall we get him on next week?
Yeah, let's schedule it properly so that we can actually, utilize it a bit better.
Okay, so next Wednesday we'll do a long show. We'll get people on, guests on, and we'll see how long we can go on for.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. All right then. So we're going to wrap it up. It was lovely having you join. Everybody in the chat. Thank you to Banksy as well.
Thank you, sir.
Always great to have him on the panel. So next week we'll do a big show. Catch you all later.
Have a good one, everyone.
Not a test. This is your emergency broadcast system announcing the commencement of the annual purge sanctioned by the U.S. government. Police, fire, and emergency medical services will be unavailable until tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. when the purge concludes.